As I stated in my intro, the topic of this meeting will be parental behavior and its impact on child's development. Now, just a quick note to the parents. I just wanted to go over the objectives of what this meeting will be about. It will be about your identifying your current parenting style, the impact said style has on your child's life, where and how to reevaluate this current parenting style or methods, and where or how to replace those with more efficient ones. So there are four different parenting styles. There's the you're the boss, which is the permissive parenting style, the let's talk about it parent, which is authoritative, the you're on your own, and the which is the uninvolved parent, and the because I said so, which is authoritarian. Now, for the authoritarian, what happens here is there's a combination of high control and a little amount of warmth. Rules are expected to be followed without discussion. Hard work, respect, and obedience are these parents' main goal to instill in their children, and they have little to no give and take. And what I mean by that is it's the parents' way or the highway. As this image states, it's because I said so. That's why. There's no other reasoning. There's no getting around it. There's no but mom, but dad. No, it's just strictly because I said so. Authoritative, on the other hand, is a combination more of a balance. It combines a fair amount of parental control with warmth and responsibility to children. Parents here actually explain the rules rather than just say, because I said so. They say, you can't or can do this because this. They actually encourage discussion. If the child were to ask why, they wouldn't be as like angry as say an authoritarian parent. The other is permissive. This parent offers warmth and care, but little to no parental control. Many people compare this to more of a friendship rather than a parent and child relationship. They accept the child's behavior and rarely punish them, and the child seems to have more of the upper hand within the relationship. And finally, we have the uninvolved parenting style, which the parent really doesn't provide much for the child. There's neither warmth nor control because the parent could just care less. The only thing they really do for this child is they provide them their necessities. So, food, shelter, all of those kind of necessities. But as you can see by the image, the father isn't really paying much attention to the child. He's more withdrawn to the work that he's doing on his laptop rather than what the child is trying to show him. The time they spend together is very minimal, and there's little to no emotional involvement. More beneficial. Research shows that authoritative parenting is actually the most efficient. The reasoning for that is because it's a perfect balance of all of those parenting mechanisms combined. Children with these parents tend to be more self reliant, responsible, friendly, and they even have higher grade point averages than kids that come from backgrounds of other parenting styles. Children typically thrive off of a good balance of control, warmth, and affection, which is why authoritative is has the upper hand. Now, the impact on the child. Parents, you guys have a huge impact on your child, whether it is directly or indirectly. And although children do have other influences, like their friends and all of the things from the outside world, parents are the initial relationship. They are that first relationship that the child has. So it's a pretty big role. And also because children are very easily influenced. Their minds are like sponges. They soak up everything. So your parenting style is your way of interacting with your child, which is why it's so important. Researchers broke down three main ways that are beneficial to have positive impacts on your child: direct instruction and coaching, modeling, and feedback. Now, with direct instruction, So oftentimes many parents have the tendency to bark orders at their child rather than just calmly tell them to do something. It's usually clean your room, do the dishes, something like that, like very aggressive, which unfortunately is not effective. A better approach would be, as I said before, to just tell them calmly what to do, when, and why. This helps a child in the long run be more skilled and get along better with their peers. So, just that extra explanation of why they should do something or a calmness in a tone changes things drastically, even for them in the future. Learning and observing. As I said before, a child's brain is literally like a sponge. They soak up things so easily and so quickly, which also goes hand in hand with their how observant they are. And they learn by simply watching. They could see their parent do something and pick up on it so quickly, and they will do that just because they saw their parent doing it. So observational learning can also promote counter imitation. As I said, if they see you doing something that they'll do the same thing. Now, this unfortunately also works in a negative connotation. If they see you doing something negative, they will also do the same. I remember once when I was little, actually, my mom told me this story. When she was driving in the car, she had cursed at someone who had just cut her off. And me being in the back seat, I think I might have only been 3 years old at the time. I cursed and I said the same exact word that she had just said to someone, just like that. I mean, seconds later. So that just goes to show how quickly children are influenced. Children, when they are older, will express the counter imitation parenting style on their own kids as well. So the more positive and the more beneficial mechanisms of parenting you use on your child, that will influence your grandchildren in the future. So, now we get to feedback. Now, feedback, this indicates to a child whether their behavior was appropriate or not, basically. And this also comes with reinforcement, which is an action that increases the likelihood of response that it follows. Parents also have to be really careful in this stage of parenting styles or behaviors, because there's also such thing as a negative reinforcement trap. And basically what that is I'll give you an example. Is, let's say you tell your child, go clean your room. Now, instead of the child just getting up and going to clean their room, they decide to throw a tantrum. They're kicking and screaming, crying hysterically, and you, getting fed up or just annoyed, you say, oh, just forget it. You just want them to stop. So you're just like, forget it. Don't clean your room. It's fine. Now the child stops crying, but unfortunately, you've fallen into the negative reinforcement trap, because now the child thinks, okay, crying works. Crying and throwing a tantrum is how I can get out of doing things. And now they'll use that instead of learning, no, what mom or dad says goes. Now that we've gone over the factors that or the impacts that a parent has on the child, I just want to list a few other ones. John Finbrenner's ecological theory displays this perfectly. It shows all of the different impacts and all the different types of people who impact a child's life. The system is divided up into 5 components. There's the micro system, the mesosystem, the exosystem, the macrosystem, and the chronosystem. Now, for the microsystem, this refers to the institutions and groups that most immediately and directly impact the child's development. So, this would be like family, school, like church or neighborhood, their friend, like anything of that sort. Now, the mesosystem is the interconnections between the microsystems. For example, like the interactions between family, the relationships with friends and family, things of that nature. The the exosystem involves links between a social setting in which the individual does not have an active role and the individual's in immediate context. For example, a child's experience at home may be influenced by other parents' experiences at work. The parent might receive a promotion that requires more travel, which might increase conflict with the other parent and change patterns of interaction with the child. The macro system is the largest group, and it describes the culture within an individual's life. This can include economic status, poverty, ethnicity, all of that stuff, which plays a role. And then the last one is the chronosystem, which is the patterning of environmental events and transitions over the life course. So, for example, a divorce or something drastic or something that makes things a little even chaotic at times, or the opposite, more stable, like just drastic events like that that change things. So those all play a big role in the influence of a child as well. And so that is it. These are just my citations, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.